guys, welcome back to my podcast. I'm doing this podcast as I'm driving, so please excuse any noise that you might hear while I'm driving. I wanted to do a podcast today in regards to COVID, novel COVID-19. How I started with my symptoms and my experience overall, just my experience. So what I want to say is just so you guys are aware of some of the symptoms. Not a lot of people know that there are many symptoms. You know, it's not just the flu-like symptoms like sneezing, sore throat. There's other symptoms too, and so let me start by saying that it was I believe it was towards the end of August. It was a Monday. My sister called me, my oldest sister. She called me while I was at work, and she told me, hey, I was really sick over the weekend, and I wanted to ask you, because I work for the hospital, so she knows that that I should know a little bit more of, because I'm in and out the hospital, and I should know what are the symptoms when people come in and visit the hospital. They ask you a lot of questions, and they have a board outside the hospital of all the symptoms that is related to COVID. So she asked me, she was like, sister, she was like, I was really sick on the weekend, and just want to ask you if you think any of the symptoms that I was experiencing are COVID related. And I was like, what were your symptoms? And she's like, well, I was really sick over the weekend. Like, it was just weird. I never felt that way ever, you know. She was like, not even with the regular cold, but she says she had fever. She had a really bad headache, and she says that she was sweating a lot, and she couldn't get off bed. Like, she just couldn't get off bed, and that her bones were hurting very much. Like, she says it was like, and then Sunday, she was sick Saturday, and then Sunday too. And then Sunday, she says, my husband, my brother-in-law, she was like, he told me, well, maybe you're catching a cold. And she was like, she told me that she thought about it, and she's like, but how did I get the cold? Like, there's nobody sick that I know, or she hardly goes out. So she's like, how did I get the cold? You know, like, and then she thought about COVID. She's like, could be COVID, you know? So then I asked her, okay, I said, when she called me and she told me all those symptoms that I just mentioned, I was like, it sounds like COVID. But let me go ahead and take a picture of all the symptoms, because it's not only just sneezing, coughing, it's also fever, diarrhea, stomach pain, muscle pain, fatigue, loss of smell, loss of taste, nausea, and all that stuff. So it's a couple of stuff, you know, that are not just flu-like symptoms. It's other stuff like the diarrhea, the muscle pain, headache. Anyways, so I said, you need to go get tested. It was a Monday. If I'm not mistaken, it was the last day of August, and it was a Monday. And I told her, you need to go get tested, because it sounds like COVID. So she got tested that Monday. She actually got tested across from where she lives. There's a school, So she got tested there, and she didn't go to her actual doctor. She just found that it was easier to just go there since they were having free testing. And so Tuesday, that was Monday. So that Monday that she told me all that and I told her to get tested, I started feeling symptoms, but not when I was talking to her in the morning, but towards the end of the day, I started feeling like fatigue, like extreme fatigue. I just wanted to sleep, and my muscles were hurting. And then I remember I stopped at my parents' house to go use the restroom. I was picking up my boyfriend from work at 11 or so. And so I stopped at my parents' house to see if they could let my kids use the restroom. And then I told my dad, I remember I was sitting down, I said, oh man, I was like, I think I'm either catching a cold because I feel like muscle pain. You know, when you start getting a cold, you start feeling that. And my dad gave me some ibuprofen and it went away. You know, the next day, which was Tuesday, I had a little mild sore throat, not severely, but a little mild sore throat. So then Tuesday, my sister called me and she's like, guess what? I was positive with COVID. I was like, oh my God. So I knew that I could have also had COVID because of the symptoms I was experiencing that Monday, towards the end of that day, that Monday, the muscle pain and fatigue and tiredness and sleepiness. And I told her, oh, guess what? Like last night I started feeling like this. I told her, started feeling muscle pain, tiredness, and just wanted to sleep. And then today I have a sore throat. So she's like, you should go get checked. And I said, I am. And so I called my doctor right away. I was at work and I called my doctor and I said, hey, my sister was COVID positive. I've been around her. You know, we have been celebrating that month of August, birthdays, and I have been hanging around a little bit more at her house. So I told the doctor, so I might have been exposed to COVID, you know, because she has it, and I'm having symptoms. I said, yesterday I felt like this, and today I have a sore throat. And he's like, okay, let's take you off work. He's like, you're gonna get tested today, and you can't go back to work until we know the results. So then I called my boss and I told him what was going on, and he's like, that's fine. We'll go ahead and get coverage till you find out your results. So I couldn't get tested that Tuesday. I thought I was, but they scheduled me for the next day, which was Wednesday. So that Wednesday, I had my appointment at like around 9 a.m. So then, you know, I wasn't feeling that sick. I was just like normal, like just sore throat, but nothing where like I was feeling like really sick. Not yet. So then that Wednesday, I remember I called my sister. We were chit-chatting in the morning, like 2 in the morning or so, 2:30 in the morning. So I didn't have to sleep early because I wasn't going to work, you know, so I find my results. So my sister was telling me how she was experiencing like shortness of breath, and that was concerning me because she says that she couldn't catch her breath at times, and that she felt just weird, you know. So then I remember I hanged up, and right when I hanged up, I kid you not, a little message popped up, like my doctor sent me something on my email, but it popped up like on the top of my phone, on the screen. And then I was like, I already knew that moment without reading it that I had COVID, because I thought it was too fast of a result. Like they say, bad news come in fast. So I was like, I have it. And so then I remember I click onto my email and it said SARS COVID-19 detected. So I was like, I have COVID. So then I had like the nurse confirm me the next day, and then I called my sister right away, and I called her back right away, and I was like, guess what, I have COVID too. So then at that point, when I had talked to my doctor, I didn't know my kids were experiencing anything, because they didn't tell me, like as far as tiredness or anything like that. So the doctor did ask me, are your kids or your boyfriend experiencing anything? I said, I would have to ask my boyfriend. I'm not too sure. It's like, okay, let me know. And so he could call and make an appointment. And then I told him my kids didn't have any symptoms. So he was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get them tested if they have no symptoms. So then, since I knew I had COVID, and I was desperately like wanting to know if my kids didn't have it either, so I took them where my sister got tested. We're at the school next to her house, and then I took them, and then I found out right away too. Like I think I found out on Thursday that they were positive, and then I actually took my boyfriend as well, because he lives with me, and got him tested. He's the only one that was negative. No COVID at all. No COVID. I don't know how that happened, because I remember kissing him during that week before I found out I had COVID. So anyways, so I found out Thursday in 3 a.m. and that morning, like 9 o'clock a.m., 9 a.m., my daughter woke up and she's like, Mom, I don't feel good. And she had a fever. Like I didn't have a thermometer, but I know how it feels to have a fever. Just touching her, I knew she had a fever. She was red from her face, so I was like, she has a fever, you know. And she says her head hurted. She explained to me that her head hurted like she had weight on one side of her head. She says that she felt terrible, like she wanted me to take her to ER. So right away I gave her I didn't think I had Tylenol, but I gave her ibuprofen, and then my boyfriend gave her a tea. I told him, make her that tea that you always make me when I get really sick. I remember like 2 years ago I got really sick of a cold, like terrible, like fever. This is way before COVID. Like I felt miserable, like and he made me that tea, and it just, I don't know what that tea had, but he says there's remedies from his family generation, and it's just a lot of stuff he puts in it. And I never really asked him like what exactly, but he says it's just a mixture of different stuff that he puts in it. And whatever he gave me that one day, it just made me better, like 100% better. Like, and ever since I have faith in that little tea he makes. So I told him, make her a tea, and she did get better. Like in an hour or so, she was feeling herself. So then she has faith on that tea also. And so anyways, so it wasn't until like Friday, my son had COVID as well, but I think he was the strongest one. Like he said all he experienced was fatigue and a little bit of muscle pain, but he didn't have loss of taste or smell. My daughter did have loss of smell and taste. After that fever, like she never got sick again. All she had like a little bit of fatigue, but it went away after the third day. My son as well. But she did have loss of smell and taste. Anyways, it wasn't until Friday that I started feeling terrible. That same week, okay, I found out, I got tested Wednesday. Thursday, I found out I was positive in the morning, early in the morning. It wasn't until like either Thursday night or Friday that I was feeling terrible. Like, I was just feeling like running nose, very congested, very fatigued, extreme muscle pain. Like the muscle pain, I couldn't bear it. Like I had to take, like, as soon as I started feeling like the pain, I had to be taking like pain relievers, you know. I did feel nauseated maybe 2 or 3 times. I had loss of smell upon that day, Friday, like taste. I didn't know if I had a fever, but I could have had a slight fever because I would sweat a lot. Like I would be sweating a lot. And loss of taste, loss of smell, extreme fatigue. Like I had to literally get help to go to the restroom. Like I could not get up. Like it's just an extreme fatigue. Like I think I slept throughout my whole COVID. I slept so much. Like when I wake up, just sleep. I will wake up to try and eat because I did try my best to drink a lot of fluids, water. I did try my best to drink natural juices, citrus, a lot of teas. Sometimes I would feel good and feel myself again and feel happy. And then the next day I go back to feeling miserable. Like that's how I felt throughout my whole COVID recovery. Like I would recover and then feel like terrible, like feel like miserable. Like I'm like, when am I gonna get better? I get better to get worse. You know what's going on, you know. Like, so I did experience diarrhea. I did experience loss of taste, loss of smell. I didn't get headaches. That's so weird. I didn't experience like headaches. Muscle pain, fatigue, running nose. Towards the last week of COVID, because I was in quarantine for like 15 days. The last week of COVID, I had extremely cough, like dry cough, like nasty dry cough, and I couldn't gasp to air. Like I didn't have like breathing problems, like I couldn't breathe, but I couldn't grasp my air. Like I would, let me just give you an example. Like right now I'm rambling and talking, but I couldn't. I will be like I would have to catch my breath and go like pause, like talking right now, and that like pause, like I just couldn't grasp my air, and had a lot of dry cough, and my chest, I had chest pain, and that was concerning me maybe for 2 or 3 days. That was concerning me. I was like, I hope I don't have to go to the hospital because of the chest pain. But I'm telling you, I was doing everything not to go down or get sick or even sicker. You know, I was fighting it. You know, my boyfriend took good care of us. God bless his heart. I would never forget, you know. I know he loves me. I know he would do it anyways, because, you know, but he did so much for us. Like, he had to be quarantined, of course, on our room, and me and my son would sleep in the living room together. My daughter would be in her room. So he would wake up and make us food, and he would make us teas. He did everything, like everything for us to get better. He lost his job. He actually had started a new job, and I feel so bad because he loved this job, and he lost it because he decided to take care of us, and that means a lot to me, because I don't think I could have taken care of my kids. My parents were sick with COVID. My ex-husband was sick with COVID. My mom's cousin was sick of COVID. They were all together in the same house. My sister was sick of COVID in a separate house, her own house, with her husband with COVID. Her kids didn't get COVID, thank God, you know. But we couldn't help like my parents couldn't help me. I couldn't help my sister. I couldn't help my parents. I had my brother going back and forth, calling us what we need. You know, thank God for Instacart. I mean, there's a couple, maybe one time, I had them bring food to my house. You know, I couldn't go shopping, so but my brother was there for us. There was a couple of family members that would be watching over us, like what we need, and taking stuff for us. You know, like my niece, thank bless her little heart, and her mom, my cousin, she would bring me remedies and stuff, and always calling me to see how I'm doing. My dad's brother would take them, you know, groceries. Some neighbors would take her groceries. It's very thankful. Like, I want to break into tears. Sorry. I didn't think I was gonna cry, but it's not until you have something like that when you realize how important it is when people care. You know, like the people that do call you to see how you're doing. It means a lot. Maybe even if they don't take you food, but they're like constantly trying to see how you're doing, that means a lot, because you need that strength, whether just somebody calling you to see how you're doing. And you know, so I had a couple friends also, like, always call me to see how I'm doing, and it means a lot to me, because there's some friends that I thought would be there for me weren't there for me, you know. So it shows in the bad times who are there for you. My advice to you is, like, God forbids that anybody gets COVID or anything. But try and be there for the people that you know, whether it's just calling to see how they are, taking them something like groceries, because they can't do it. You know, we couldn't go out. Like, we couldn't go out grocery shopping. I couldn't cook for my kids. You know, I had my boyfriend do that. That's why I'm very appreciative that he stayed with me to help me with my kids, cooking for them and taking care of me and them. And he's making teas for my other family members that were sick. You know, that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, just a little call like, hey, you know, I'm praying for you. Hey, what do you need? You know, like, tell me what you need, I'll take it. You know, so think about the people. Like, don't think, oh, she has COVID. You know, like, oh, I can't be around them. You know, like, take your little precautions, but think about them, that they can't go out. You know, they can't do things like they used to, because they have to stay home quarantine so they don't get nobody sick. And just those little things means a lot to me, because it kind of hurt my heart that I couldn't help my parents, I couldn't help my sister. We were all sick, you know. And then I came to find out that my mom and my dad has heart problems and other stuff, you name it. My mom has diabetes, other stuff, you name it. I was very concerned on them, and I couldn't even get off bed. Sometimes I didn't even have the strength to call them and say, Mom, when I was really sick, couldn't even call them because I was feeling terrible, and then didn't even know how they were exactly doing. And my dad said he felt so sick, like that sometimes he would cry because the pain on the bones was unbearable. Like, bone pain was unbearable. He would sweat a lot, like wake up soak. Same thing my sister said. I believe I didn't mention that. she woke up so the weekend that she told me she was feeling sick. And my mom would cry too because she couldn't bear the pain, the muscle pain, and they felt extremely fatigued. My dad said that, like, it felt like he felt like nobody could touch his skin. Like, it felt like it hurted so much. Like, if somebody tried to touch him, like, it felt like they were tearing him. Like, I didn't know till after we got better, like, everything he told me, like, his experience. And then my sister couldn't catch up to her breath. I was very scared for her that she would go to the hospital. Nobody could go and visit her. And my dad, like, my kids have asthma. My dad, it clicked to him. He said, I have to go help my daughter, you know, like, they live like a couple blocks, maybe 4 blocks away. So my dad went and he gave her breathing treatments, and she started getting better. And he gave her a thermometer. I don't know if that's how you call it, to measure your oxygen, because her oxygen was a little low, so that's why she couldn't catch to her breath. But my dad was giving the nebulizer machine medication to my sister, which is my kids. You know, I have one at my house and I leave one at my parents' house because my kids have asthma. And so my sister started getting better, and she's like, wow, if it wasn't for that breathing treatment, I would probably ended up going to the hospital. That's what she told me. And my dad was really sick, but there's nobody else that knows how to use the machine. He's the one that gives breathing treatments to my kids when I'm at work, if they need it. So he had to go and give my sister breathing treatments, that sick, and he couldn't go out. He was supposed to be quarantined, but, you know, he didn't want my sister to die or anything like that. But anyways, so we ended up just getting better towards maybe the 16 or 17 or 18 days of COVID, or no, not even, yeah, like the 18th day is 15 days quarantine, maybe like around the 18th day of being quarantined, starting feeling better. And then I went back to work, but that week was terrible, like, because I was still feeling like fatigueness. And it's something that people that have COVID, I've been doing a lot of research on, and a lot of people still have, like, they still feel sick, even though they have no COVID. Like, you know, they still feel sick. So then one last thing, and they have also said people that are experiencing after getting off COVID, like getting they have no more COVID, they still experience fatigue, and that's how I was feeling. But I started taking vitamins, and I'm feeling much better. But it comes and goes. Like, sometimes I feel really fatigued, sleepy, and it has to do with the COVID. As far as I know, but the doctor says not to get that. I didn't have to get tested again because it's still gonna be in my system. Like, it's still gonna be detected, even though I don't have COVID no more. COVID stays alive a certain time. I'm not sure, 14, 15 days, but it stays alive certain days and then it dies. So that's why they want you to quarantine for those 15 days or 14 days. So, you know, it doesn't stay alive forever. You know, it dies in certain days. Anyways, I just thank God that we came out of COVID. I know there's people that have COVID and they don't have these kind of experiences. They're okay, you know. I know maybe 2 people that I know that had COVID and all the experiences, loss of taste and smell, but they didn't get really sick, you know. So, I mean, not everybody experienced COVID differently, you know. But let me just tell you and end up this podcast by telling you guys that we got COVID, and we think we got COVID through my mom's cousin who was visiting us. My dad had actually picked her up, had picked her up where she was at, and she was spending like a couple days at my mom's house. And my dad remembers when he picked her up, she was complaining about stomach pain, loss of taste and smell. So my dad didn't think of anything like COVID, because a lot of people don't know that loss of taste and smell is part of it. So if my dad would have known, he probably would have told her, hey, you might have COVID, you know? But that's what I'm saying, just bringing awareness that it's not just the cold symptoms, there's other symptoms, and people should be aware of. But I mean, I don't blame her. I feel bad that she got sick, you know. And I mean, we got sick, but I mean, it's nothing to blame her. Just how she got sick, she contracted it from somebody, and we feel we got it from her, you know, like prior to her not staying there, like we were okay, you know. But anyways, it's nothing to blame her. Just what I'm trying to get at this is that, like, if my dad would have known, like when she told him, like, I have stomach pain and loss of taste and smell, my dad would have probably told her, oh, you might be having COVID. So if a lot of people are aware of just all the symptoms, and so they could pay attention to that and stop the spread of COVID, you know. But with that being said, God bless each and every one of you guys, and make sure you guys put your mask on, protect others, your parents, your kids. Put your mask on, and please be careful out there. And thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope I didn't forget anything. But if I do, I will make a second part, maybe with my interviewing my sister with her experience and my parents all together. But God bless all of you, and take care out there. And if you know anybody with COVID, just go take them something, a grocery. You can leave it at the door, or just call them and see how they're doing every day. And it means a lot. I'm telling you, it means a lot. With that being said, God bless each and every one of you.